All right, guys, you want cheap, affordable summertime fragrances going into the 2025 year? We're going to talk about a few. Some of my favorites, under $50, so you're not going to want to miss this video. Stay tuned. So this one, I bought a tester, I believe, on Jomashop for about 30 bucks. And it's one of my favorite flankers of the line. Now, the OG gets a lot of love because it came out in the 90s. Sorry, the 80s. But this one is made more modern and well blended than the original, in my opinion. And this is going to be Davidoff Cool Water Wave. Yes, Cool Water Wave, even new not a tester, you can find this for about 35 bucks. Think of a mix of Invictus with Cool Water, put into one bottle, fantastic stuff. Not a great atomizer, but I get about 6 hours longevity with this fragrance. Smells fantastic, slightly sweet, ozonic, aquatic. Great everyday fragrance for the summer season. Must have, must own for the high heat. And like I said, if you like that Invictus style sweet DNA with a little bit of aquatic cool water vibe, under $50, this is a must have, must own. And again, that's Davidoff's Cool Water Wave. So this next one, easily a must have, must own for summer. You can even rock this in the winter. It cuts through the cold. But this is almost bits of Blue de Chanel, YSLY, Dylan Blue, kind of those blue citrusy aquatic style fragrances all wrapped up into one. And this one's from Afnan, and it's 9 a.m. Dive. Yes, 9 a.m. Dive, beast mode fragrance, at least my bottle. I've turned on so many coworkers to this fragrance, I actually stopped wearing it because I smell it everywhere now. But very mass appealing, very unique, very special. Even though it's a simplistic blue fragrance, the projection, sillage, scent trail, awesome stuff for about $30, $35 on most discounters. A must have, must own in anyone's collection as of 2025. And just a fantastic fragrance. What else can I say about this? If you got your nose on this, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, check it out. And again, that's 9 a.m. Dive. Focus. There we go. In this next one, it's going to have some more depth. And what I mean by that, I believe it's got a tonka bean note. At least I smell like a tonka bean creaminess in this fragrance. Fantastic presentation, under $50. And I'll probably always have this fragrance in my collection. It's definitely in my top 10 of my whole 1,400 bottle collection. And that's going to be Missoni Wave. Yes, one of my most successful blind buys, the magnetic cap, very satisfying. But this kind of puts you in the headspace of Versace Pour Homme with Chanel's Allure Homme Sport. That bright citrus off the top, the creamy dry down that Chanel Allure Homme Sport gives. Just an amazing fragrance. Very mass appealing, well liked, compliment beast. And when you're wearing this fragrance, at least in my opinion, I enjoy the wearing experience greatly on this one. I get about 8 hours longevity, good projection for the first hour or two, decent scent trail, but a compliment beast and a must have, must own for summer, under $50. If you haven't gotten this, you got to get your nose on it. And again, that's Missoni's Wave. Now, this line of fragrances, they have hits for many years. But this one features a melon note, and it's great for about 25 bucks. If you want something invigorating, affordable, easy to wear, you gotta check out Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct. Yes, First Instinct. Now, I would recommend the Extreme, which I have, but this one fits the summertime vibe a little bit better. Kind of salty, aquatic, citrusy with that melon off the top. Really high quality stuff for $20, $25 in my opinion. A little synthetic, but for the price point, you can't beat it. Now I get about 6 hours longevity. Reapply, overspray this one. You're not gonna have a problem choking anyone out with this fragrance, but for 25 bucks, I mean, come on. If you've tried this, you know what I'm talking about. Awesome stuff, fresh, invigorating, energizing, puts you in this great uplifting mood every time I wear it. And that again is Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct. Now this next fragrance is going to be brisky, quote unquote, almost like a coastal woody vibe fragrance. I pick up bits of Percival in this fragrance. I don't know what notes are in this fragrance to be exact, but there's definitely some woods, possibly some amber. And for the summertime, if you want something to class it up for under $30, under $50 that is, you're going to have to go with Blue Cedar and Cypress by Cremo. Yes, Blue Cedar and Cypress. I've featured this on the channel before. Smells great for about 20 bucks. I think I picked this up at Great Atomizer for what it is. I picked this up at my local Ross store. Kind of has that Percival Mont Blanc Legend DNA, Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce with that added cypress. Woody, fresh, aromatic, must own, must have, under $50. Just something different from the normal aquatics and freshies out there, even though this is a freshie. But if you can find this, get your hands on it. It's a must have, must own. And again, that's Cremo, Blue Cedar, and Cypress. Now, this next one, I've talked about a few times. I prefer this over their Pacific fragrance, and I've made that pretty well known. But this is one of the best from Rayhaan for about $20, $25, and that's Rayhaan's Ocean Rush. Yes, Rayhaan Ocean Rush, $20, $25. You're basically going to get Acqua di Gio with Versace Pour Homme mixed in one bottle. Higher quality than the price point depicts. Smells fantastic. I get about 6 to 8 hours longevity with this fragrance. Smells fantastic, aquatic. I believe there's some green notes in here, kind of green, fresh, aromatic, aquatic. Just reminds me of being on the beach on a summer day. Fantastic pickup for that $20, $25 mark. Definitely under the $50 range. You could get this and their Pacific fragrance basically for $50, but I prefer this over Pacific. And again, that's Rayhaan's Ocean Rush. Vacation in a bottle, yes. I've always called this vacation in a bottle. It's going to have a tequila lime vibe. Almost smells like a mixed drink of some sorts. Now, this isn't going to last long on skin. If you're going to the beach on a summer day, you could spray this on your beach towels, your clothes, 20, 30, 40 sprays. You're not going to offend anybody. And that fragrance today is Tommy Bahama St. Barts. Yes, St. Barts by Tommy Bahama. Again, vacation in a bottle. There might be some agave in here, tequila, lime, woods, musk. Just a sexy fragrance. This, if this would last longer, probably be one of the top fragrances in my collection. But nonetheless, fantastic for under $50. That's where we're keeping it at, under $50. Kind of will put you in that same ballpark as Creed Virgin Island Water. Even though with Virgin Island Water, I get more of a booziness. This is more of a fresher take with this fragrance versus that creamy booziness that comes with Virgin Island Water. 4 hours longevity, not great projection. If you're up close with somebody, they will smell you. But again, for 20, 25 bucks, and you can find this at most of your rack stores, it's a must-have, must-own for summer. And again, that's Tommy Bahama St. Barts. Now, think of if Jean Paul Gaultier made a Le Beau Eau Fresh. Yes, a Le Beau Eau Fresh. Doesn't exist, but this kind of takes that DNA and freshens it up a little bit, makes it a little more airier, and this was one of my best finds of last year at my local Burlington. And that's from the house of Tommy Hilfiger, and that's Vibrant Summer. Yes, Vibrant Summer. I believe I paid $20 for this fragrance. One of the best tropical-ish coconut-style fragrances. Doesn't smell quite as synthetic as most of the other Tommies to my nose. Alluring stuff, great for the high heat, great for the summertime. Must have, must try in my opinion for summer 2025. And for 20, 25 bucks, we're way under that $50 price point with most of these, to be honest. But we set the standard 50 bucks, and this made the cut. And again, that's Tommy Hilfiger's Vibrant Summer. Now, in my opinion, this is a fantastic fragrance. I picked this one up from discounters for about 40 bucks. Not a lot of people are talking about it, and it features a note of cacao, I believe, which I don't really pick up on in this fragrance. It just smells more of a fresh, like a fresh, invigorating, slightly citrus fragrance. And that's from Calvin Klein, one of the few Calvin Kleins I own, and that's Eternity's Reflection for Men. Yes, Reflection for Men. Just love the presentation, love the bottle style, love the bottle color. Just a unique, fresh take on the Eternity DNA that smells very modern, very clean, very outgoing, just a very outgoing fragrance. It's a must-have, must-own in my opinion for this summer. I'm going to be rocking it multiple days this year in the high heat. And get your nose on it if you can. I recommend it if you take my opinion for whatever it is. I love this stuff. And again, that's Calvin Klein Eternity Reflections. So guys, those were just some of my favorite fragrances going into the summer season in 2025. Under 50 bucks, well below under $50 for most of them. Now, a couple others could have made the list, but I think these are pretty good staples. Easy to find. I'll try and link them down in the bio, but easy to find. Pretty mass appealing for the most part and most of the time. And these fragrances I'm going to be wearing most of this summer. But as always, slap that subscribe button, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and remember, stay clean, stay fresh, and as always, the world is yours. We'll talk soon, guys.